Last Starfighter is one of those flicks you either love or hate. It's a simple story, a little bit like a $15 million CGI-heavy retelling of the legend of King Arthur. A young lad is plucked from obscurity and whisked to Rylos to defend the frontier and save the galaxy from Zure. It's a bit of a belter, this one. It's The Last Starfighter. If you saw this back in 1984, you were lucky. I had to wait till 1986 until it came out on VHS in the UK. Great film, directed by Nick Castle, written by Jonathan R. Butel, and it's got people like Lance Guest, Dan O'Herlihy. I can never say that. And if you don't know who Dan O'Herlihy is, he's the old man from RoboCop. Catherine Mary Stewart as well. Robert Preston, just to name a few. A great movie. Came out July 13th, 1984. It's got a runtime of 101 minutes, so not really a long film. It had a budget of $15 million, and it made almost double that back at the box office, which is good for a movie back in those days. You know, it's not a bad flick. With me tonight on the panel is Emperor Goodwin, the Wayfarer Project, and Istaphobos. Good evening.
Good
How
evening.
Are you?
Greetings, Starfighter.
Greetings, Starfighter.
Hail,
I like
chat.
that.
Hello, everyone.
Yep. Hail, chat. We'll get to you in just a moment. I know for a fact Destron Solar's in there. Also Franco Walker, Manuel Grill, just to name a few others. It's all right. Slight technical difficulty. It wouldn't be a show without it. Great film. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see this on the big picture. Did anybody actually get to see this at the cinema?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
I did too, back in 5th grade.
Crikey. Yeah, it didn't really get a big push over here, which is a shame, really. A lot of people weren't interested because it wasn't practical effects as such. It was more CGI, and the CGI, for the time, I thought was pretty good, to be fair.
It was really groundbreaking. Yeah. This is really the first movie that very much leans on computer generated imagery for its effects, and it was stunning at the time. You look at it now and you go, wow, this is like PlayStation level stuff with palm shading and all that. But
it's the second notable film after Tron, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you'd had little things like Wrath of Khan with the Genesis effect. Tron, actually, that was a lot more practical than a lot of people remember. But yeah, this one, boy, it really was going to town.
I'm glad Tron gave Frisbee a second chance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
did anybody have one of those Frisbees with the blue light on? That was so cool.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Bruce Boxleitner even talked about it in an interview a couple of years ago when it was at a con and people were asking about why didn't the Frisbee do damage to Tron before he threw it? And he's like, it's a Frisbee. He just didn't go along.
Oh, you've got to love it when actors don't buy into the rhubarb and they just go for it.
Well, one of the big differences between this and Tron, I mean, it was only like a 2-year difference, but it looks like a couple of generations of improvement, is that the entire visual field was CGI, just not elements. The foreground, the background, the starships, the effects. And Jay's right, there were actually a lot of practical effects used in Tron.
Yeah.
And one of their secrets was just blacking out anything in the distance. They just draped the entire sides of the studio with velvet. And I remember the director he's like, when in doubt, black it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't really want to talk too much about Tron. And there's a very good reason for that, which we will find out a little bit later on. I want to keep things a little bit under wraps. But you were about to tell us about the Gunstar.
Well, I was going to say the spaceships in this were just awesome, because they had weight. A lot of times with CGI, you feel like the effects just they're just mystified to there. They're just magicked into existence and they don't really function and have weight. The spaceships, all of them in this, did actually seem to have weight. They were almost car-like. in the movements, especially with the rotating capacities of, the gunship and everything.
Yeah, I
And
see what you mean there.
there were two reasons for that, and one is the brilliant design by Ron Cobb, who was one of the production
genius.
designers on Alien. He sort of, the ships had a realistic feel to it, and then it was the physics simulation on the Cray
XMP.
yeah, that you just didn't get with any other previous. I mean, I just recently watched it, and you can sort of see there's definitely momentum, acceleration, a little bouncing,
Collision.
Yes, considering for when this was made, it's just absolutely incredible. And you know what? Maybe PS2, but PS2 doesn't look that bad even today. And
yeah, I think the thing about, I mean, you're only looking at 2 years between Tron and the Last Starfighter, but what's really happening is the revolution in software around visual effects at this time. The Tron stuff, they couldn't even see what they were plotting out, and so they just built huge spreadsheets and did data entry of, okay, it's at point X, it should be at point Y, because there was no acceleration, no physics or anything, right? It's all manual. This one is, you've had advances in software that allow you to have physics simulation that has a better understanding of directional lighting, even though it's using a lot of Phong style shading on this. And then you get just a few years after that, and now everybody's doing ray tracing and all that. There really is it starts out as a complete green field where there's nothing, and everybody's building everything by hand. The software and all that, and then they just keep building off of the blocks that they've already created, and so there's this huge rapid acceleration in the effects industry, based around computers.
I was going to say that this film really does adhere to the laws of physics, and I think that's another reason that gives this film a bit more credence in the visual effects department, because you've got shows like The Expanse, what stick to physics, not pseudoscience or techno babble, and they do quite well because they actually they're bound by the limitations of the universe that we live in, and I think that's good.
Yeah, they actually remembered momentum, and objects in space flew like they were in space. I believe this was actually, all these effects were programmed in Fortran, which, that was the operating system designed for the sciences and physics. So it was quite natural, and it was the only way they could do vector graphics, which is one of the shortcuts that they were able to do to sort of fill out all of the shaders on the objects.
Yeah.
And it still looks respectable, let's say.
Yeah, it still looks like Isaac Newton got a vote in how things work, right? As opposed to a lot of modern things where it's just magic and sorcery.
If you treat this film in the respect that it's due, and you take into fact the year of production and stuff like that, if you keep that in mind and don't think too hard about it, this film holds its own.
That's the best looking mobile home park I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's funny that trailer park trash never looks so good.
Yeah, it was very clean, and they had nice communal spaces. I remember thinking, like, I could live there. That's like,
I loved the just the whole the way that the community, everybody knows everybody, and not in the Snoopy kind of way, but the the one lady's having problems with her power, and she's going to miss her soaps, and everybody knows that that's going to cause a riot, and so you just have that that grapevine of people yelling to get information across, and everybody knows each other. It was like, man, I'd love to live in this place.
If they made this film, if they made this film in this day and age, they wouldn't get away with it just out of authenticity, because there's no crackheads, no meth heads, no,
exactly, yeah.
Insert your typical, as what did they say in your neck of the woods, trailer park trash.
Yep.
And it had a very. I was gonna say it had a summer camp feel to it, maybe.
Yeah,
it does.
To bring that up, but a neighborhood, and I have been in temporary environments like that, like when I went off to summer camp. It was really nice. But the trailer parks that I experienced as a young adult were nothing like that. You dropped off the pizza and you got the hell out of there.
Yeah. Well, I think
Yeah.
that's probably because it wasn't run by Otis. I mean, Otis is clearly the anchor.
Now we need to. We do need to state there is a difference between a trailer and a mobile home. You know. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is really more of like a campground. You know, because a lot of these aren't mobile homes. I mean, they really are like travel trailers for a lot of these.
But like you say, there's this whole family element. It's like it's a community. Everybody knows each other, but not in a nosy bastard neighbor kind of way.
Right.
Yeah. And
well, it's the 80s.
I still remember being at the movie theater. The first thing I noticed was the video game cabinet feeling so out of place outside of like whatever the little cafe or thing was. They do address that in the movie later on, but I just remember thinking, what something here doesn't belong. Something here is not like the other.
It should have gone to Vegas by all accounts. This is this is pretty much the opener of the movie. This young lady here is Maggie Gordon, played by Catherine Mary Stewart. And she's the love interest of Alex Rogan, no relation to Joe. His mother, well, she's the manager of this, what did you call it? Not a trailer park, a mobile home
Well,
thingy.
this one is more trailer-like. I was just, you know.
It's more like a
campground.
Campground, yeah.
Yeah, so
It
this
does
is a
seem
trailer park a la 1984 where things were a lot nicer and people didn't have addictions and other problems to blame society for. So anyway, Maggie's looking for Alex. This is Alex playing on his favourite video game machine, which is called The Last Starfighter. And he's got a bit of an addiction for this game. Instead of playing with her buttons, he'd rather be playing with this cabinet's buttons.
Yeah, a bit odd.
Yeah, a lad of that age, he should be exploring other boundaries and other final frontiers, not video games.
Yeah, I was in 5th grade, but I was really up for the challenge.
Well, you know what? Like many people in relationships that have both, you know, they might just decide to sit on the couch and play Madden when they've got other things to do. But I did appreciate sort of the really realistic and non-melodramatic portrayal of his relationship with Maggie. I mean,
well, Alex is checking the mail constantly because he's waiting for a loan to go to college. But will it come? We'll have to wait and see. So he's just about to go to Silver Lake with his girlfriend and all the friends. But just at the last minute, his mother shouts that somebody's electricity's gone out. And she wants him to sort it out because she's got to go to work. Despite managing a trailer park, she's still working 2 jobs. Look at the patina on that old truck. That looks good. People pay real money for that kind of thing these days.
That's a truck that's definitely been in the desert. The sun has burnt the paint off, but there's no rust.
You know, 3 layers of clear coat, you could sell that for good money.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't she married to the police captain as well?
No, she's a widower in this.
No, the actress was in Hill Street Blues.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's all right. I see where you're going with this now. It's all right. I lose points for not paying attention. We'll catch up with the chat soon as well. So, you know, Maggie says, it's all right. I'll stay behind and I'll not bother going to Silver Lake. I'll stop with you, Alex. And he's like, no, it's fine. You go and have a good time. And it's like, yeah, see you, chum. Bye. Woof, gone. Left him in the dust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what does he do? Oh, after fixing the electricity, he goes to defend the frontier instead of, reevaluating his relationship goals. So
the good thing is Otis is here to give him some real advice.
He did do his chores first, though, and you got to give him credit for that.
Oh, yeah. He got the job done, didn't he? Yeah, good on him.
So we've established, that he's very responsible. He's sort of technically oriented and a little bit obsessed with the video game.
Yeah, he can pull himself away from the Atari when Mama says.
Yeah. So anyway, Otis makes a very good point here because he tells Alex to pretty much, when life gives you an opportunity, grab it by the balls
You gotta
and
grab
go
on
with
with
it.
both hands and hold on.
Yep, definitely.
Maybe breasts in this case.
That's why you use both hands. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Alex is like, shut up, old man. He's giving him that look. But anyway, this guy drops Alex's girlfriend off. He should be getting a bit paranoid at this rate, but he's not. He's more bothered about getting this high score. The only way he wants to score is on a video game, not with Maggie. Get your priorities right, man, for fudge shakes. And notice he's like, hey, he's getting a high score. Instead of, there's screw all to do on this trailer park.
Yeah, the whole community comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even know what is going on, and they're happy to go.
Well, I'm sure the game has a leaderboard.
Yeah. Well, it should have gone to Vegas, and he's the only one that's been playing it all summer.
Hmm.
So
there is a bit of subtext here about sort of what's going on in his relationship where, obviously she's gorgeous and you're like, why? But he's a person that doesn't want to be stuck here. And even though he loves her, in a way, she kind of represents life as sort of trapped in the trailer park. He's also under a lot of stress, waiting to find out his future. So I think it makes sense that he'd be distancing himself, going into fantasy, the video game, and maybe not addressing what he needs to address in his relationship. He's still a kid after all.
Yeah. What is he? Maybe what? 17,
17 or 18,
yeah.
And she, I think we've already had the conversation where she's like, yeah, but what about Granny? That she's giving all the hints that she doesn't want to go out into the wider world, and he does.
Interestingly enough, Granny in this movie is an interesting cameo. Because, do you remember the Cage, the Star Trek pilot?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
She was one of the big-headed aliens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought that was like an interesting, if you know kind of moment.
Well, it may be that Centauri's not the only alien that's recruiting here on Earth for certain things.
Yeah, so Alex is a record breaker. Shame it's not breaking records in the bedroom.
Yeah.
But he kind of tells Maggie his aspirations and his feelings and whatnot. And his mother comes back and she hears the half of the conversation and she's like, ooh, I better disappear sharpish. And that's because if you look in her cardigan pocket, she's got a letter. And it just happens, it's a letter from the loan company about Alex's college loan. And she says, it's all right. Maybe you could go to community college.
Yeah, with all your friends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's reflecting on the unfairness of his situation. And then the Starfighter machine starts making noises. And then this really cool-looking car turns up out of nowhere. And very ominously, the gull-wing door opens and he's like, oh, come here, young man. Oh, I'm not here for cigarettes or bubble gum. But that's what you do at midnight. Some stranger in a strange vehicle pulls up and you approach it. That's the smartest thing. And he says, who's got the high score on this game? He said, oh, well, that's me. He said, oh, well, get in my car, young man. Yeah, really? You do that? For fuck's sake, 80s. It could be anybody.
Well, 80s. Get out of my dreams.
Oh, God, no, not Billy Ocean.
No, this is a Billy Ocean free zone.
No, I don't want Billy Ocean.
There's nothing big or clever about Billy Ocean.
But, I mean, to be fair, there's not a lot to do in this trailer park. You might as well go ahead and get in strangers' cars and see what happens.
You can still hitchhike back then. It wasn't quite late 70s, but, you have to look at him getting in the car. That's definitely a contemporary thing there for the.
I just need to ask a quick question. Is it Benjamin Franklin that's on the $100 bill?
Yep.
Well, maybe he's going to earn a quick $100.
Exactly. Yeah.
You never know, do you?
Gonna go around the world. It'll be great.
What happens in Reach Around Town stays in Reach Around Town.
Well, in the 80s, the Andrew Jackson $20 bill was the $100 bill of the time.
Yeah, we have before the inflation.
Yeah. And I do want to note, especially for people not in the U.S., That's not exactly how college loans and financial aid works, but
No.
Not anymore.
Oh, well, there's
Yeah,
there's an ominous figure in this car,
oh,
and
yeah.
Alex is like, "Howdy." First thing you say to somebody who's in the shadows, and he gets a bit of a jolt from this guy. Whoa! And if you notice, that ominous figure's swiftly disappeared, but we'll
He
learn more
does.
about that soon. So anyway, the door shuts, and this guy's doing like 300 miles an hour on a 35 limit road. And this is what I love. Typical police. They're asleep on the job.
Yep.
Mhm.
They get rocked awakened by this, whatever it is, the Rilo, it's Star Car, that's what they call it later. And the Star Car goes flying past these cops. 303 miles an hour, which kind of remind me, they pretty much scammed a few scenes out of a Knight Rider film. This film borrows heavily from quite a few other franchises.
Mm-hmm.
well, that his car was based. Ron Cobb he said he based the car on the spinners from Blade Runner, which
Yeah,
might
I can
explain
see
why
that.
it looks
It's-
so cool.
I think it's based on Deckard's car from Blade Runner, and I'm not sure that they may not have reused it.
If it takes off and it flies, you might notice later in the film that the wheels sort of transform. It transforms itself into a sleek spacecraft. So this is Centauri, who invented the Starfighter game, played by Robert Preston. He seems to be running out of a bit of road, but luckily for him, he's got some nice flaps on his vehicle,
Yeah.
and it takes off. Nice to see his tags are legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but this car it turns into a spaceship, obviously, which is great.
So,
But if
how
you
are
look at the
Ford's
shading
license-
on these tires, well, that's not bad for the era, I guess.
Yeah, again, I mean the fact that they're able to do directional lighting and they're doing Phong shading for this, which is a much lower level of computation, but still you can get accurate shadows and all that. Yeah, this is a real step up from a lot of the stuff we'd seen.
Yeah, how would you describe forged license plates as legal? Just
As long as the cops don't care, it's
Well,
fine. I mean, he's got the registration sticker on it, so
yeah,
it's fine.
if the tags are up to date.
I've got to
Yeah,
catch up with the chat a little bit here because Franco Walker makes a very good point. Alex would rather get in a strange man's car than his girlfriend's knickers. Yay!
Oh yeah.
I like that. Well done. Well played, Franco. Melvin says, want to make $5 the hard way.
well, my thought is he gets in his knickers all the time and her knickers all the time whenever he wants.
Yeah,
So
if he
it's
can get
less
himself off the fucking video games, yeah, sure.
Yeah, they just don't show that part because it's a family film.
Yeah, but if you notice, this car's fully transformed from an automobile into a spacecraft. And to say this guy's two-faced is an understatement,
Yes.
because he literally is. And he just wipes his face off and puts it into a handkerchief and then he turns around. And you would just do a massive shit in your pants if you saw this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Literally.
Yeah, definitely in real life.
And
Either
this
that
is
or it'd be
really
like, why did I drop acid before playing that video game?
Yeah. But this is
Yeah,
a great beauty shot. I love this scene.
Well, this is the first part of the film where you get to see the special effects and realize that at the time, anyway, you were in for something special and different. You never.
But look at
quite
the
saw
shading
anything like
here.
this before.
The shading on the planets is fantastic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you say it was done on a Cray XMP?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Nice mainframe if you can get it.
I'm just a quick story.
Yeah, sure.
In the mid '90s, I was looking through Craigslist, and somebody was selling a Cray XMP for $12,000,
Shit me.
and I seriously considered buying it, but I had nowhere to put it. Like, yeah, like imagine like it was 12. Just the cooling system for that thing would cost 10 times as much. But I kind of thought about it. I called the guy. We talked a little bit. So just it's a very cool looking computer, very different than the typical, rectangular cabinets of the day.
I wonder if you could run XP on it.
Probably not. No.
No.
The craze, like a lot of it, especially like XMP and YMP and all those. I mean, I think they required 440 3-phase power, and then they were cooled by Fluorinert, which was a coolant that actually cascaded throughout the system, and there's on the system itself, there's a bench you can sit on. That's actually the Florida Inert tank.
That's
that
right,
collects
yeah.
the coolant. Yeah,
Yeah, you
There's
would
a-
have had to have your whole electrical system redone.
yeah, yeah.
There's
Right.
a great scene in Sneakers of the bench being used effectively on a Cray system.
Yeah. And they hide.
Also, yeah, you need like an extra living room to put the thing in. It wasn't small.
No.
British houses are not as big as American ones, so you know, one of your bathrooms is about the size of our living rooms over here.
Well, our houses aren't as big as you see on TV and films. And
Oh, I don't know. This is the house I'm in. It's tiny compared to some of the ones I've lived in, but you know, that's how it goes, I suppose. So anyway, this is on its way to Rylos, as the license plate indicates. We get a nice beauty shot there of Rylos, and yet again, that shading's impressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the detail, I've noticed there's like random parts, like on the Gunstar later, where some of the shading looks questionable and it seems to be lacking detail. And then on the simplest and littlest of parts, they've gone overboard on detail.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
Yeah. The coloration change is good.
Mm. So this is Starfighter Command, shall we say? And Santori is taking Alex there. And this is an interesting shot when the gull-wing door opens. This young lady from another planet gestures to him, but she sounds like a dog toy
Yeah.
for at least 15 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
I think she
Squeaky.
was. She also really looks Membari for anybody familiar.
A little
with
bit,
Yeah.
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 Not dressed the same, but
Although, speaking of Babylon 5, I could do with a haircut because I'm starting to look a little bit like Londo Malari in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah. I
That's
like this. You could tell Ron Cobb did some good design work here and a bit of a callback to Alien.
And
Yeah.
Because this is
Outland.
supposed to be one of the humorous scenes for the younger viewers, where Alex goes on this conveyor belt, and you get the kiddie music to entertain them. But that it is certainly a Nostromo callback if ever I've seen it.
Mm.
Although it looks
Yeah,
very
that-
clean, it's not very Wayland Yutani dirty.
No,
Is it?
yeah, it's definitely before it got in the hands of space truckers or as Topova's pointed out, like an Outland. A bunch of miners that are working on a planet.
Yeah. So basically, Alex has been signed up to take part in a fight that's not his. So he's given a uniform. He's not understanding the conversations yet, but things will become clearer. In the meantime, Maggie goes to check in on Alex. It's not Alex. We find out later it's Beta Unit. That's the only thing he's known as in this film. So she's like, yeah, I can understand why you're feeling sorry for yourself. I'll just leave you to it, yeah. And we get a good, whatever the hell that is. That's Beta Unit, who's not fully formed as Alex yet.
Yep.
Well, that's a face for radio's radio, isn't it, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been there at one time or another. It's a little too
Heavy
much to
night
drink.
out.
Yeah, yep.
Mm.
And
So Alex gets to take a look at the Gunstar for the first time. And this is the first time we see one kind of in the flesh.
Mhm.
And yet again, that rendering's really good for the era.
Yeah.
well,
Well, it also gives a sense of scale. I mean, these are big ships. These are not, it's an X-wing, which is, like the size of World War II fighter. The Gunstar is a big boy. It's a chunky boy.
and a thing to note is they rendered it 3,000 by 5,000 pixels, which is something they didn't go back to doing again till another 15 or 20 years after. And the average scene had 250,000 polygons on it, and that was more than the scenes of Babylon 5 in the mid and late 90s. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
they were definitely, one, they had a supercomputer instead of like a PC farm. But two, they were ahead of their time, and they weren't hindered basically by modern operating systems either. Like
Yeah, and the impressive thing is, given the budget, the level of rendering that they're doing. I mean, that's a lot of compute time.
Yeah, well, one of the interesting things that on the notes of this movie is they said it actually cost about a third of what it would have taken to do practical effects for the same effects.
Mm-hmm.
And we're used to actually now practical effects are cheaper than CGI, but computer stuff was supposed to get more and more inexpensive and available, but it seems to just be getting more expensive, and people are actually falling back on practical effects to save money, which is the same thing they did here with digital effects.
True. Luckily for Alex, he's given a universal translator, which is funny because later, when they go back to Earth, everybody understands Greg.
Yep.
And they haven't got a universal translator. So this guy's saying, right, this way with all the rest of the recruits. And he's like, what? Where? And then we get a nice odd assortment of various creatures from across the Star League. Alex, being a bit of a tit and a bit of a noob, steps on this thing's thing.
Mhm.
He's not too chuffed about it. And so this guy is like, oh, I'm going to rip your face off, and I'm going to eat your face, and I'm going to shit your face out and stick it back on your face, but in an alien language.
Yes.
Sorry, I was just on the flow there, Wayfarer. I didn't.
Yeah.
I think that's actually in the subtitles of the director's
yeah,
edit
save-
subtitle. Yeah.
Save that personality for robot jocks.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's an
dear.
interesting comparison. The guys sitting in the chair, they look like basically they're about to go back to work on their construction job. More than like being the room of elite pilots in a military situation. Just thought it
Hey,
was
another
interesting
Star
there.
Trek alumni here.
Oh yeah.
Does anybody recognize this guy from Star Trek? I'll give you a clue, narrow it down a little bit. Next Generation, a Dwight Schultz, Reg Barkley centric show episode.
Mm.
Do you remember the Nth Degree where Reg Barkley gets zapped by that alien probe?
Yeah,
and he
becomes more and
super
more
smart?
intelligent. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
remember
is
the-
he's the pro builder?
he's the Scytherian, is it? And he's the one going bipedal locomotion when his head appears on the bridge of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yes, this guy. There's also another Star Trek cast member, but a Deep Space Nine one coming up soon, who was also featured on last week's Just Great Movies.
One thing I appreciate about the when he first sees it, that they, unlike current Star Wars and other shows, actual aliens that are alien in their design and not just humanoids wearing a mask. Right?
True.
It really is quite the he looks and goes, oh my God, what the hell is going on?
Like you say, they said in previous Alien movies they didn't want a guy in a rubber suit.
Yeah.
Let's see how Alien Earth fares on the is it 13th of August when it airs on Hulu?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I can see that show being a bunch of dog shit, but I'll give it a go anyway. Death or Glory! Death or Glory!
Do we know the guy's name, the old guy, like his character name as the leader? It's like 'cause it comes up. He's the dad of the bad guy.
Yes, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, do you
it's in
remember
the
how we
credits.
did Battle Beyond the Stars a few weeks back?
Mm-hmm.
Can you remember the control panels in Nell's computer room? There, look, there in the background again.
Oh.
Renter
They
panels.
always get recycled.
And there's another renter panel coming up in just a few scenes. Alex bumps into somebody, ends up on his ass on the floor, and then we get to meet Greg, played by Dan O'Herlihy. I keep having to practice how to say that. If you don't know who Dan O'Herlihy is and you've just joined us, he's the old man from RoboCop. You can't tell it's him at all. But there we go. There's another renter panel there. The famous 5 flashy laser beam
Yes.
thingies, as featured in the Genesis laboratory, as well as all those in the background. But it was also in Star Trek V as well, and in Airplane 2, the sequel, when they were spoofing Star Trek.
Yep.
Buck Murdoch. Or was it Lance Murdoch? It's one or
Buck.
the other, isn't it? Hey, and if you notice that panel behind him with that bit of green just under Alex's chin, that was one of the renter panels from the Knight Foundation semi.
Oh,
It
really?
used to go into.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There we go, another nerdy flashback. So anyway, Centauri's basically pulled a con because he's a charming con man. We have a saying over here: bullshit baffles brains, and this is what this guy runs on. This is his primary fuel source. So he's out for the cash, and he's basically conscripted Alex into a war that his planet has nothing to do with. In fact, the Star League don't plan to reach out to Earth until we've matured, because we're still basically a bunch of tardy apes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have wars with
which
each
ain't-
other rather than other planets.
Oh, according to YouTube videos I unfortunately watched today, give it another 7 years, we won't be here because super AI is going to wipe us out.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that's the next big thing, isn't it? The Terminator epoch.
Yeah.
I
If,
think it'll use
if
this-
only I could keep track of all the apocalypses that I've actually made it through. And,
Well, I'm still
I
waiting
and
for the
then-
global cooling from the
Yeah,
70s.
global cooling. I mean, I've already had the ice age, and now it's really too hot, and I've only got 5 years, and
Yeah,
I
well,
always seem to always have 5 years.
I'm still owed the global ice age from the 70s. Where the
Yeah.
fuck
Oh,
did that
yeah.
go?
Yeah.
Did Greta just melt it away with all her blowhard bullshit?
But it could have been it.
I'll
So
tell
this
you
is
what,
Xur anyway. He's an impetuous child, the son of the Emperor, who we saw earlier. And he's basically, "You're rude today, you banish me from this planet. I should make
Oh
you
my God,
obey."
The overacting by Xur is
Oh, yeah.
magnificent in its
He's
melodrama.
pantomime. He's
Oh,
sort of
man.
like, what's the word? Not gay, camp.
Yes. Oh,
It's
very.
like the camp level over. They're hamming it up. He hams it up royally, this guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whether that was a part of the job description. But basically, they've got until this moon has finished eclipsing,
Oh, yeah.
until he's going to launch his attack on the frontier, because the frontier protects all the Star League planets.
As if an eclipse really is the same from all angles.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I think it's always a good idea to let your enemy know exactly when you're going to attack. That's important.
I don't know. I think Xur's
Yeah.
got a certain insight because he is an impetuous child of Rylos.
He is.
Xur
so
is
anyway-
also a veteran of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Really?
Yeah, he was season 6, episode 23, Rightful Heir. That was one of the Klingon-centric episodes where Worf
Oh,
was.
yeah.
And he played Torin.
I'll take your word for that.
He was also, he was also in an episode of Quantum Leap. So just for, I know people some people have been going through that. So he was in Nowhere to Run and Quantum Leap as well.
There you go.
Mhm.
So anyway, Centauri has to take Alex back to Earth because he's had his cash taken off him and he's in the doghouse. So meanwhile, at the frontier, which is kind of like, do you remember the minefield scene in Galaxy Quest?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a bit like that, isn't it, really? And I
Yeah,
think a
it's-
little bit later on, DS9 did a minefield of the wormhole.
Mhm.
Yeah, the mind. I mean, so the problem with this, everybody does. We're gonna have space minefield. I was like, you have no idea how huge that is because you think about it like in a 2-dimensional way, but it's 3-dimensional. You have to make a
Yeah.
giant sphere of these mines, otherwise people just go around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so
in
this is the
DS9, they were
frontier.
regenerating each other, you know?
I
Yeah.
do give him credit though for actually going 2-dimensional as opposed to Fifth Element, which just had a single line of drones on their
Yeah,
frontier.
yeah.
You could
yeah.
easily go over and under. So
Yep.
the concept
They at
of
least
this was
removed
fine.
one direction of avoidance.
Yeah, well, that saved them the squared, but you still have the cubed. Yeah, the volume
yeah.
is nine times. When you're dealing with 3-dimensional volume, you have 9 times
Yeah.
as much stuff.
True. Yeah, because it's not just cubed, is it? It's 3 instead of a 2.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just going to say that I'd set it up because this isn't a minefield. It's the electronic frontier what protects the Star League planets. But Xur and the bad guys have been slowly whittling away to find a bit of a weakness in the barrier.
Yeah,
And
this
these
looks
two
amazing.
guys, they look like, do you know the Vidians from Voyager?
Hmm.
The guys with the phage. They kind
Yes.
of look like
Oh,
these
yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
But these two are hammy as well.
the costume and makeup effects were great, but that exterior of the battleship, like I mean the amount of detail, it just I remember that was fantastic. You could
Yeah.
see textures on the armor plating and the detail in the weapons, and it was just I mean, it was no Death Star, but it was pretty impressive.
Yep. Now this guy, I love his. I think that orange eye
Monocle
piece
thing,
that comes on. I think that exists only for dramatic effect. It's like his dramatic eyepiece. Whenever
he's Lord
he
Krill,
says
isn't he?
something, yeah, whenever he says something dramatic, then it closes or it opens,
Yeah.
depending on that. It
He
has
only-
no other function.
I think he
Yeah,
only
but-
does it totally 3 times during the whole entire movie, so that's not too bad. So he has 3 epic moments of dialogue in the whole entire film.
Yep.
Yeah, this makeup looks great, even by today's standards, and the fact that they were able to emote through the prosthetics, and you could see the face move. Oh, we used to say with Star Trek, forehead aliens. That's when they just put a little piece of something up there, and boom, instant alien kind of thing. They really did a good job of actually designing creatures.
Yeah.
Well, he's a little. At least he's got some around the back, but yeah, essentially. Or they'll have the little ribs over the nose, or, but yeah, we have full on designed aliens here, and it's nice.
Yeah, including like Greg. Again, is with Dan O'Hurley. He's that full face. That's not a messing around prosthetic that he's wearing. But again, he's able to emote through it, and you understand his expressions and all that.
Yeah,
One
and
of the
it
good
gives you that other.
reptilians.
Oh, sorry. What you found?
No, I was just saying one of the good reptilians.
Yeah.
I mean, it really gives you that otherworldly sense, because when it's just a group of people with some shit on their nose, you don't really get the.
Hang on a minute. Let's just back up for a moment. When you say shit on their nose, are we talking actual shit or prosthetic shit?
Well, I don't know what these guys are up to, and they didn't show what they were doing.
Space rimmers. Oh my god.
They
Franco Walker
could
says,
be metaphorical shit. They're all
Franco
brown
Walker
nosers.
says those aliens remind me of Enemy Mine. They do a little bit. So does Greg. He's like a meld of the two, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
Space Rimmers, was that a reference to Rimmer from Red Dwarf?
well, no, not really. But I just thought, with the mean
Trans Am
brown,
wheel arch
with the
nostrils.
brown noses.
I think he was a little, a different kind of, let's just say, you don't want to get stuck on his outer rim.
No.
But I've seen women with eyebrows that look more alien than some of the lazy little forehead stuff they do.
Just look at most of the women these days. They all look like fucking aliens, don't they?
Oh my
really?
God. Yeah.
Especially the ones with the overinflated lips. But this is Zure anyway. The impetuous child of Rylus with his sphincter. Oh, sorry, his scepter. But he's so far up his own arse, this guy. It's unreal. His own level of self-importance is off the chart.
His scepter.
Yeah, he is absolutely flaming.
Yeah, his scepter gave me Conan vibes for some reason.
I think this guy's definitely space gay.
Oh yeah,
and he's probably got space AIDS.
Yeah, well
that's
he's willing to share.
Well, that's one time he can keep it to himself. So anyway, they managed to create a hole in the defense shield and penetrate it with these explosive asteroids.
See, there's your outer rim right there. It's inflamed.
And it's got asteroids, so it's understandable why it would be inflamed.
Well, Centauri comes out with a good one later. Says you can bet your asteroids they'll come here next.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Nice play on words. So anyway, these explosive, shall we call them asteroids, head on the way to Rylos. And hey, we're under attack. Really? No shit. Anyway, this dodgy guy here, he's a Zure sympathizer. Plants some explosives. It's all going to go a bit Pete Tong. And just as about to start launching gun stars, oh dear, it's brown trousers time. Incoming bombs, and then that bomb goes off, the defense grids down. This guy knows it's brown trousers time. He knows this is an oh fuck moment.
Yep.
You just tell by the look on his face. It's not going to end well. And so anyway, Starfighter Command. There we go. That's what's left of Starfighter Command.
I thought it was interesting how they got through the barrier and was like they created a force field at a cone and just sort of, parted it a little bit and shot through the middle of it. That was
cool. I've got to say, that October tag looks well sketchy.
Yeah, that looks a bit sketch there.
That looks like it's just been done with a ballpoint pen.
Yeah. That was one of the interns that had to do that real quick.
Well, that number plate or license plate? Is it license plate?
License plate. Yeah.
So the registration plates here. Totally different. And we can't pick really good ones. You have to have a mishmash of what's given. It's crap, really.
Oh yeah, on UK TV, I'm like, what the hell is that? It looks like you're making a password.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought you could just use a label from Newcastle.
That went over my head. Am I supposed to get that one?
Well, as a tax disc.
Oh,
Newcastle
we haven't
label.
had tax discs for about, what, 20 years, probably?
Oh, shit. Well, sorry.
I know somebody who used to have a beer coaster as a tax disc.
I
back
just
in the
watched
day.
the UK on old TV episodes.
Remember
Now-
tax discs? Remember back in the golden times when we had valves? We had tax discs. Yeah. And
The thing
it's
is,
still a rip-off.
Our yearly stickers still look exactly freaking like that. Like
Yeah.
100 years later.
Ours
Yeah,
are all
and it
digital now.
It even shows the sticker underneath from the previous year. You just keep stacking them.
Yep,
on
just
top
keep
of each
piling
other.
them up.
Hasn't your DMV gone digital with all that stuff?
You still need to have the physical sticker on your
Really?
car.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Wow, that's weird because all ours is just digital now. You don't have a tax disc or anything. But
Just
it's
QR codes.
we have a thing called road tax. Everything in this country is taxed to the hilt. There's a tax for this. There's a tax for that. There's a tax for something else.
They tax the taxes.
Yeah. It's funny that. So anyway, Santari's not at all pissed off at Alex. It's like, you just cost me a shit ton of cash, kid. And now my car's broke down. So he chucks him this rebadged... Am I keeping you awake?
Oh, no.
If you want to get your head down for a bit, it's fine by me. We'll be here when you're finished. So anyway, moving on. Oh, dear.
Look, this is what happens when you invite old men onto the stream. We get into our nap time. It's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know who's the oldest here.
I am. Well, it's still probably is.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dare I ask how old, sir?
Do you know who Paul Chato is?
Yeah.
Okay, around that.
Uh-huh. What?
Now you said you don't. I thought number plate was a UK thing. It's not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a different. You said something different, like
No. I said pretty much we have to have what we're given, and if you want a private number plate, it doesn't look anything like how you want it. Say you wanted arse, it'd be AR5E or AR53. You know what I mean? You'd have to have some.
So you get it. You get it in leet speak.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, we have ours are censored as well for certain things you can't have. So we work
like
around
tit
it.
wank.
Yeah, but man, I've seen some really clever ones. None would come to mind at the moment, but I'm like, wow, how did you get away with that?
Yep.
And how did they get away with this? That's definitely a Casio digital watch that's just been sprayed gold and had a bit of red stuff stuck on it. But it's a crystal communicator. Alex gets back to the trailer park. Maggie slaps him right across the face. She's not a happy girl because she wanted a bit of slap and tickle. And obviously that android hasn't got the right kind. It's not fully functional like Data. So he's
he can be. He just doesn't understand.
Yeah.
So he's basically like, what the fuck, man? What have you done to me, woman? What are you on about? I haven't done anything to you, woman. Exactly.
Yeah. She tried to stick her tongue in my ear. Do you have any idea what is going on with her? Yeah, I kind of like that.
He could have blown a fuse. Look who it is. It's Mark Alamo. Gold your cat. Also, he was in Total Recall on last week's Just Great Movies.
Yeah.
He was the ubiquitous bad guy. He was in Knight Rider about 11 times, wasn't he, as a bad guy?
Yeah.
So was Gowron as well.
Oh, wow. I thought the scenes of Alex and Beta interacting were really well done. Some of the best humor in the movie, and they actually went back and shot more because during the test screenings, the audience liked Beta so much.
Yeah, he had hidden depths.
More. Yeah. Although
I think it's a credit to Lance Guest that he really did portray those two characters much differently, and when he's doing playing Beta, everything kind of feels a bit alien, and he's a bit off, trying to learn things.
And if you look closely, because he was both really sick and he pulled like a Henry Cavill. He had to shave his head for the next role. So when they went back for reshoots, he had to wear a wig and heavy makeup to sort of cover up his pallor. So if
Yeah, you
look
can
close,
tell his hair's completely different.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can identify the reshoots that were added. But yeah, and I also love the little brother with interacting with Beta.
Yeah, Lewis,
Pretty
that
funny.
comes up, that'll be along later. Shh. So anyway, this character walks past the Starfighter machine and it promptly melts his face off. And oh yeah, what a stunner!
Oh, I love this. I
Now,
mean,
that
again,
is not
very alien looking and yet still believable and functional as they are, but a proper alien, not just
Yeah.
here, let's
It
put a
looks
couple
like-
of appliances on you.
Can you imagine eating a taco and looking like that? You get it in your eyes.
Yeah. You have to be careful with the hot sauce then.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
If
Yeah.
Bella Ramsey had sex with a Mon Calamari,
And let's go back. Hang on a minute. No, don't. That is Bella Ramsey. Actually, I found out quite recently Bella Ramsey is quite local to me.
Really?
That is scary.
You should stop drinking the water.
Yeah, exactly. There's got to
Yeah.
be some
Yeah,
kind of
about,
mercury in the soil, maybe.
I'm not actually from this neck of the woods. I just live around here. But 12 mile away from where I live is where she's from. So
Trev,
anyway,
are you going to be a dad?
who?
Are you going to be a dad?
Am
He
I?
already
Fuck,
is
I've
one.
already got 6 kids. I got 6 kids to feed.
No, that's the Bella Ramsey line from last.
Oh,
week.
yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I'd put that out my mind. Like Albert Einstein said, when you've got a lot of shit rattling around in there, you have to dump a load of crap. And that was some crap I was quite happy to delete because she doesn't look like the character in the video game, and I noped out at that point.
Yeah.
6
At
kids,
least
man?
Pedro Pascal's dead. Oh, I've just spoilt it for somebody who's... yeah.
Oh.
6 kids. You've definitely been
Yeah.
doing your share of taking care of business.
Yeah, well, twins on the first go, that will narrow the margins down somewhat.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Yeah.
Also,
kept going.
this alien looks especially like Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny
Or,
because it's true.
Rachel Zegler, or Halle
No,
Bailey.
it's definitely Anya Taylor-Joy.
Jeez.
She is one ugly motherfucker, but
Oh,
she's
God.
kind of hot too. She's like fugly. No, actually, that's the wrong word. That's fucking ugly, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's
yeah.
like, I don't know, sort of
She's
weird
good
hot, but I don't know what.
Yeah, if you
it's
look
like-
at any particular feature, you're like, what the hell? But
If-
then altogether, you're like, oh, okay, I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm vaguely
Yeah, but-
curious.
It's got to be in
Oh.
3/4 profile because when she's facing you, you see how far.
Yeah, you realize she's an alien,
Yeah.
I've just had a terrible thought there with Anya Taylor-Joy. She would be great in the sack with a grocery bag on her head.
Yes.
You'd have to put 2 on Bella Ramsey's head in case the first fucker blew off.
And you better put one
Yeah.
on yours just in case.
Oh, I
She-
don't know. I think I'd have to have Stevie Wonder eye drops just to tackle Bella Ramsey.
Yeah.
And maybe a seeing eye dog to say, don't do it, Trev.
Mhm.
Yeah, but the head is the least of her problems, man. You still have to deal with the rest of her. Unlike
Oh,
Anya
yeah, I
Taylor-Joy,
forgot.
who looks absolutely fine. Bella Ramsey's just a mutant sludge of a DNA errors or something.
She's like Pat from the old Saturday Night Live, where nobody could really figure out what gender that Pat was. So
I think Dutch said
Oh,
it best in Predator. You one ugly motherfucker.
yes.
Oh God,
I-
she's got a face for AM radio, not radio. So
Ham,
Centauri turns up, saves the day, takes out this alien. Apparently, they smell like a cross between cat piss and off vagina because every time somebody gets near to one of these things, they start sniffing like it's going out of fashion.
Oh yeah.
But I think he's got rabies too. Poor bastard.
I think he's just hungry.
He's not even
thinking
dead
about
yet.
that taco.
Yeah. So anyway, he can remote control his arm from the afterlife. So he takes a shot at Alex because he's the target here. And Centauri does the honourable thing. Just as the shot's fired, he stands in the way, takes the hit, and then zaps that alien thing, and it like goes as you do when you get shot by a laser.
Absolutely.
Now, when Centauri was back before, when they were back at the Star Command or whatever, one of the generals goes, "You haven't been doing the Excalibur thing again, have you?"
That was
And
Greg,
it-
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny because Jonathan Betuel, I don't know how to say Betuel, he got the idea for this movie. He was reading The Once and Future King and walking by an arcade.
Hmm.
And he
How
thought,
you do?
yeah, that's
How would you
exactly
do the
where,
modern Excalibur? You do a video
Exactly.
game. Yeah.
yeah. and
Either
that-
either his pen's leaked or it's dawn on his hands. Not quite sure what that is, to be fair. It looks
We
like
may-
dish soap, maybe.
No, that is his wanking hand. I don't know.
Oh, controversial.
Mhm.
He might not have a cock. How can you
Oh.
have a space wank if you haven't got a cock? No? Moving swiftly on. So anyway, back at Starfighter Command. Star Command was good because you made me think of Jason of Star Command, if
Yeah,
anybody
Jason of
remembers
Star
that.
Command. Yeah.
Oh, that was prime Saturday morning TV viewing.
Yeah.
Oh, made by Filmation of all people.
Yeah. And then also Shazam and
Anything that had Lou Shima's voice on it, you guaranteed it was Filmation.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So
Isis
this,
and Electro Woman and Dyna Girl.
oh God, what was that?
Good
Space
stuff.
Sentinels. Remember that one? I used to love Space Sentinels.
No one I don't remember.
No, there were the three young people with incredible powers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I just
I had a
remember
brief
watching.
glimpse of memory there.
I just
Although-
remember watching Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, wondering which. It's like Sophie's Choice. Nah, I'll take both of them.
We
Yeah,
were
both.
spoilt for good animation in the 70s, but the thing what wrecked it for everybody was how good Battle of the Planets was.
Yes.
That mars a lot of memories for a lot of boys from our era, our generation, because when Battle of the Planets came along, it wiped the floor with everything.
Yeah. Took that Hanna-Barbera stuff and kicked it into Jimmy.
Oh, yeah. And then we had all the Dick stuff in the 80s.
Oh yeah. Deke.
Dick.
Yeah.
Hey, mon crayon is large. We're French, no? Hey, come round your house and fuck your wife and cook a good food. Sorry, that was a terrible accent. So this is Lewis, Alex's brother. Every film of this era had a little bastard moment, and Lewis was the little bastard in this one. But Alex is having a little head issue.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah,
The kid was
he's got
funny.
moth ears. Why is he? Do you know? I thought they were candles, but it looks like a shuttle model. Yeah, it is.
It looks
Of
like
course
artificial insemination kit for a cow or something. It's-
Only you could think of something like that.
yeah.
Now, let me ask you, since you brought up Battle of the Planets, wasn't Zoltar was the bad guy in
He
that?
was.
Wasn't
Well,
he
indeed.
supposed to
Wasn't
be-
he?
Yeah, that's exactly my question.
It was
that
6-1. It was two twins, a girl and a boy, fused together in the original Science Ninja Team Gatchaman from 1974, known as Berg Katsei, who later became Zoltar. Basically, Sandy Frank bastardized it for an American audience.
Right. So basically, Timothy Chalamet. I see.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So they're getting suited and booted to go into battle, and Grig's like, "You look like a human." No shit. Really? How'd you work that out? So they get into the gun start, and that is quite good graphics.
Yeah.
for
Oh,
the
yeah.
era. Say what you want, but yeah, I think it holds its own really.
It does.
And it's got a heads up display which is held in an argon field, so it's only in your not in your periphery, only in your actual line of sight,
Yeah.
which is
Right.
quite technical for that. A bit of an over technical explanation, but I thought
Yeah, I mean,
it was
everything
really
was
good.
kind of grounded, right? You know, that HUD. You know, you could have just, it's just magical bullshit or whatever. But no, it's a suspended in a xenon
And
gas.
then
Yeah.
xenon gas,
Yeah.
No
It's what
over
gamers
technical,
wanted at the time.
no overly usage of techno babble. But this makes me laugh as a part of the film. It's like, this obviously looks like something you shouldn't touch. Hey, what's this do? No, don't
Yeah.
touch
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Nope.
It's
Oh, I
Death Blossom.
thought he was going to get a haircut.
This is
It
the
could be.
super secret final solution, which
Oh.
isn't really that overly scary, really. It's, I think it's more of a
Yeah.
metaphor than anything.
I think the phrase "final solution" is scarier than what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's just say the smart bomb.
yeah.
No, I mean, Death Blossom is I've actually used that as I've named machines in our labs and stuff like that. There's always been a Death Blossom that shows up at some point because it's just the the most ridiculously overpowered. We'll just throw things at it and see if it
Yeah,
works.
Just a quick catch up with the chat for a mo, guys. Minum says Terrorhawks. I don't know. Terrorhawks was shite, really. Looking back at it, it didn't age well as a TV show. MC says, I love Jason of Star Command. What was to not love? That show fucking rocked. And Sid Haig was a bad guy in it, which was even more impressive.
Yeah.
Not Brian says, hello, mate. Hope you're enjoying your little break. Space Sentinels, big scary face hanging in the air. Yeah, pretty much like Zordon in Power Rangers, which was not ripped off from Super Sentai in Japan. Not that America comes in and steals all Japan's ideas. They've never done it to us at all. Sword in the Storm says, I wasn't watching Dick stuff back then. You've spelled it wrong, you moron. It's Deek. Deek.
Well, I think he's out of himself. He's watching Dick stuff now.
Well, yeah. Sword in the Storm says, why didn't they use miniatures? Because they had a Cray at their disposal. Which is
it was
pretty
budgetary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually would have cost more to do the miniatures.
Yeah, they couldn't afford miniatures. Like I said, it was about a third of the cost.
You're going to like this one, guys. Flav says in the chat, they're making a live action of Joan of Arc, and Bella has been named as the main interest to player. She certainly does need putting it at the stake.
Yeah,
that's not real. That can't.
It's a joke.
That can't be real. Is it real?
For God's sake, man, it's a joke.
Oh, okay.
You bloody Americans got no sense of
Hey! Don't be bunching me in there.
I think he was talking about the initial proposition.
No propositions were made, nor need to be honored.
No, I mean the original announcement.
The fact that that's plausible, just shows how messed up things have gotten.
Oh God! Who told Bella Ramsey she could fucking act? Seriously?
Well,
I don't know. I mean, she told herself because she looks in the mirror and goes, "Yep, I'm definitely Ellie."
I think I've seen tapeworms with greater range.
Yes.
So Greg says, "Don't touch it. It's the final solution." So they take off, and this is a nice rolling. What? What did I say?
If you keep saying the FS thing, I don't know, man.
Why? What? Have I said something inadvertently?
I don't know.
FFS?
History. Is it just
me? I mean, if you're worried about a certain Austrian, then continually bringing up the final solution. Then people ask, "What is the question to which you need the final solution?"
Right. Okay. I'll just say it's the ultimate weapon. There we go. At that. There we go.
That's not a
or death blossom. That's what it's called.
It was completely innocent. It was innocuous. I didn't mean anything by it.
No.
I don't affiliate myself with anybody in that ilk. Thank you very much. Moving on. Anyway, I love this. This is a glory shot if ever I've seen one.
Oh yeah.
Beauty shot, not glory shot. I'm thinking of Gloria.
Gloria
Holes from Next Door But One.
Money.
Lovely lady. But that is a glory shot, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Beauty shot. So they have a bit of mild target practice. They chuck out these little triangular sphere type thingamabobs and start having a fire away, which kind of reminded me of the black hole where the robots were having a bit of a gunfight for fun.
Oh, yeah.
For a 17-year-old, he's quite a hairy boy.
Look, puberty hit hard.
Well, this is what happens when you take rides from strangers in the middle of the night.
You get hair on your palms.
Strangers in the night, exchanging
clothing.
I said clothing last week.
Oh.
So anyway, target practice aside, it's a bit of a fun bit. And then we're reminded there's another one of these really sexy Bellarians. Is that a legit term, do you think? Bellarians.
Anya Taylor-Joy
calamari.
Yeah,
Bellamari. But that wasn't a joke. She is eyed to play Joan of Arc. That's what I'm saying. Can't be. Please God, no. But it's true.
So anyway, as we approach the frontier, which is just basically a giant force.
Love the stars.
Let me go back. Yeah, starfields are actually quite well done in this. All of 2 pixels wide. And something comes in on the space radar, and it turns out to be one of these Zurian ships, as they're called. But look at that. Look at that. Just for the era. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, the Gunstar it really looks good.
It does.
It's well designed. It looks like it should actually be something that would be, dangerous given
You
the
could
weaponry.
tell they saved the budget for these kind of shots,
Yeah,
as opposed to
yeah.
the earlier pictures of the gun stars when they were in the hangars, because they looked a bit shitty on the
Yeah.
Now,
edges. But they saved the cash for where it counted most, and that's more important, I think.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
these were rendered in multiple passes. The lens flares, the starfield, the effects were all post and then composited to the main spaceship models.
Well, they did a
Yeah.
hell of a good job.
Yeah,
To be fair, whoever did that did well. And we get a nice chase scene here amongst the field generators, if we all call them that. And then there's always a convenient asteroid where people can fly into. But Alex is like, yeah, I'm having this. I got the high score, and I want to score big time. And yet again, another great render.
Yeah.
That is that is good. You can't knock it. You can't
No,
knock it.
no, and again, looking at the technology that they're dealing with, this isn't here. Let me draw my cool things out, and be able to preview what I'm doing. Most of this is you're entering numbers, right? You've got a design, and you're just putting in X, Y, Z coordinates to actually make the models.
Yeah. But if you notice, they went really all in on some shots to get that quality and detail in. Bill Barkley in the chat says, what happened to the new Last Starfighter movie that was supposed to be happening? That is in production hell. Apparently it's not going to be made. Not in any time soon anyway, which is usually the case. They like to announce things big in Hollywood, and that's about the last you see of things. So this Xerian ship gets taken out inside an asteroid. Meanwhile, local cop who was asleep at the wheel earlier, he's got a passenger on his back seat, one of these stinky, fishy bastard Anya Taylor-Joy, Bella Ramsey-looking fucking things. And it takes him over, as you do. Meanwhile, Grig's showing Alex some home photos. This is my chick. Look at her. She's so hot. When me and her get some lizard skin on, we proper get it on,
Oh,
we
yeah.
shed. We shed. I forget how many kids he's got, but he's got them in thousands,
It's
hasn't
like
he?
6,000, I think.
Yeah. I'd like to spray my seed on her eggs.
Yeah, nobody's sleeping in on Sunday morning.
No.
Dad!
Yeah, so Alex is showing him his only photo, which he managed to keep on him during his ad hoc training. If you notice, there's a picture there, and his dad obviously passed away before all the events of this happened. That's why his mum's in the situation she is, having to work 6 jobs and be the local hooker.
Yep.
It's a trailer park. What stays in the trailer park? What
There's a
happens in the
reason
trailer
Alex
park?
got in that car, because the options in the trailer park were not something.
Come on, give an old man a reach around, Alex.
Yeah, but Catherine Mary Stewart, she's a hell of an option when
She's quite attractive in this film, but I don't know. She's aged quite well, bless her.
yeah, she turned into Amanda Peet, didn't she?
Okie dokie. Yeah, we're all week, by the way, and
Okay.
we're available on Rumble as well as YouTube and other various places on the interwebs. So Alex is proper, like, he's going to kick ass. He's going to take on the Xerian fleet, and like Grig's like, who are you trying to
practicing.
convince here? It's like 5 minutes ago you didn't want to know, and now you're like the top shit. So meanwhile at Silver Lake, Beta's with Alex's girlfriend doing God knows what. Obviously, checking out different kind of interface ports. And this is our
sticking it in
friendly,
the ear.
is our friendly neighborhood alien with his dildo ray.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy there, he's been in Knight Rider God knows how many times. Manona says, big jug shame about the boat race. Yeah, she's got kind of a, I don't know, it's she's kind of a bit blokey on the edge as she's got a bit older. But Beta...
She's got a jaw that
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh. And it's the
Yeah.
first thing that jumps out when you see her is like, that's a hell of a jaw on a woman.
It's like something Tyson couldn't miss.
Yeah. I mean, probably couldn't crack.
Oh, dear. Mind you, everybody's cracked her on this trailer park, except the robot. He's not fully functional like Data. So anyways, he's trying to explain to her, I'm not really Alex. And this alien overhears that, shoots Beta, And when she was planning on getting something squirted on her in the night, this is not what she had in mind.
No, that was not it. I mean, it's
It's-
near the areas she was hoping, but not
Yeah.
quite.
But then again, somebody had an overabundance of Dawn dish soap.
hmm
Oh, look, and he's just squirted all over her top, but not the way she wanted.
No.
You know, she's coping pretty well, though, I have to say.
Yeah. But she's like, bitch, this top's new.
Exactly.
That is not a complete look of surprise, is it?
No.
Yeah.
That's I can't believe it's that big kind of look on that face.
It's like, Jesus, where did you get that from? Radio Shack.
Yeah. Whew.
So anyway, meanwhile, back at the frontier, there's permanent penetration at this point.
Nope.
Lord Krill's machines have worked the trig on the shield, and it's down. So they're about to start launching a full-scale attack on Rylos. But waiting in that asteroid is a Gunstar. Very clever. This kind of reminded me of a couple of films and a couple of TV shows where they've sort of hid reluctantly in an asteroid. It reminded me of Empire a little bit at this point.
That's a beautiful shot right there.
It is.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is the very first film that was all digitally composited in the computer. Even Tron, they printed out the effects and used optical
Printers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the very first movie that you essentially video toaster, which is what they called it on the Amiga later on. So, which gave them the flexibility to render out as many layers as they needed to get the effects. You know, I think their only constraint was time and electricity.
I wonder how they outputted these to celluloid.
It's
Would it have been frame by frame printed out?
Yeah. It's an optical printer at 3000 by 5000 resolution.
Yeah.
Every single frame.
Because like your GTX 3070s or 3090s or whatever the fuck they are, they weren't around in those days.
Nope.
Yeah, I
A lot of this stuff was done with a very high resolution monitor, and it was usually black and white, and they used color filters on each one.
Screenshots back in the day were a big thing.
Yeah, well, they really were shots. I mean, you should have get directly to film, and it took a long time.
Yeah. So anyway, Rent-A-Cop, Alien, Anya Taylor-Joy, Bella Ramseyite, and what was that other thing? Did somebody else have a...
Mon Calamari.
The Mon Calamari.
Yeah, there we go. That fucking spaceship in the background looks very Lego, space Lego, doesn't it?
It does.
I said,
I think it's a. I think the idea is that that's a drop ship that goes back up to whatever main ship that they have.
Yeah, good idea. So anyway, Lord Krill and his posse start receiving a signal. But Beta's like, you owe me one for this, Alex. And he steals some guy's truck and rams it straight into that spaceship. When we say ram, it's ram it, not Ramsey. Because nobody wants to ram a Ramsey, do they?
No, hell no.
Do you know, I just thought Bella Ramsey looks like a young Stan Laurel.
Oh.
She does,
No,
though.
she looks like the combination of Laurel and Hardy.
And now I can imagine her, if she is a lesbian, ending up with some big fat dyke who looks like...
yeah, Hardy.
Olive Hardy, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Ollie. Oh, dear. So Alex is about to... he's getting his shit together. He's making sure all his photon torpedoes and ray beams and this, that, and the other's all ready to rock and roll. And he kicks ass. Full thrusters ahead. Meanwhile, Krill's ship picks up a blip on the radar, and it turns out to be a Gunstar, and it's like, well, so much for the Last Starfighter being dead. And there we go. This is the second time he's got his monocle out.
Oh, yeah.
So he must mean business. So he's like, take away Zer, and he's like, I'm having none of this. I look kind of like that guy from the Warriors. No, you don't.
No.
And the turtle dudes, as we'll call them, because these guys have got faces for radio too, come and take Zer away. They're obviously a subset of the same species as what Zer is. But Alex is ready to kick some big ass. Big ass, bigger the better. He wants to kick an ass bigger than Lizzo's booty.
Ooh.
Jeez,
Hope he brought his bananas.
hope he brought a bag of flour to roll her around in so he could find the fucking
No.
wet spot.
Yeah, there's too many wet spots with her.
Yeah. Did you see a KFC bucket at all?
Oh,
Apparently, she's been accused of ram raiding a KFC.
really?
Yeah.
What?
You know, holding the staff hostage. Fill these bags up with chicken. First person in history. In fact, we had a guy a couple of years ago at a local KFC drive-through who held it up dressed as Santa, but it was black, which was dead funny. The irony there is just so delicious. It was finger-licking good almost. So take out the turret is one of the main things here. And Alex does take out the turret, which is good going, really. Half a job done. And he's like, yeah, got the turret. And then Greg's like, don't get cocky, kid. You find yourself floating home. Oh,
Yep.
wrong film.
No,
and
no.
he launches some missiles as he goes away straight into the bridge of the Zurian fighter or battleship.
I think again the idea of, you know, this is, you definitely see it in The Expanse, right? But the idea of using missiles makes sense in space. Why don't we do more of it? You know, versus just here's laser beams. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that fact. I mean, Stargate did that towards its last few big seasons, where the Earth-based ships, they used torpedoes. I thought that was really good. Although, what puzzled me was how there was smoke coming off the torpedoes in Stargate SG-1. I was kind of getting a Battle Beyond the Stars vibe here. You know, when Sador's ship, when the Stellar Converter blows up and Nell takes him up with her, that kind of vibe towards the end.
But I think this proves that every you know, race that has the ability to travel faster than light has not invented the fuse panel, because it's always electrical blowing up in their systems versus just, oh no, the fuse blew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, these racers are that clever. They don't think of the simple things. You know, safety first. Screw that.
No.
What could possibly go wrong? This is a state-of-the-art ship.
Yeah.
So
Nobody
anyway,
can touch
Zer,
this.
being the complete arsehole chicken shit gaylord he is, manages to get his arse in an escape pod. I think this was left open for a sequel, but it never happened.
No.
I mean, he
Also,
got
the
good
idea
numbers
of
at the box
Zur-
office.
I just love the idea of Zur being the big bad in something. And it's like, I'm sorry. I mean, this guy is so camp. You know, he should be on Hollywood
Yeah.
Squares or something. It's
What's
terrible.
he gonna do? Steal your nail polish or scratch your eyes out?
Yeah.
Or is he gonna put a stain on your favorite shirt or something? He just seems about as scary as a fucking gas bill, to be fair.
Now, Jay Goodwin's Avatar deserved a sequel, though. Ming was also campy, but he had a terrifying gravitas about him.
Max von
Exactly.
Sydow as Ming was pretty much on point, I think.
No.
He was sublime.
Remember, the movie was considered a bomb when it came out, even though it
True.
made double its budget. It didn't really quite. It was around the break-even point. They didn't spend billions on marketing like they did, but still, I think it barely made its budget back. So
The advice at the time was you were more advised to watch the second season of Buck Rogers than Flash Gordon. How fucking wrong were they on that one?
Oh my God, no.
Season 2 of Buck Rogers, for fuck's sake.
That was Gil Gerard just losing his mind and, you know, getting power run into his head.
Oh, God.
now the movie did make a lot of money in its pay-2 windows and subsequent, you know, VHS and DVD sales. So in the end, it was profitable, but we never.
Yeah,
got
a lot of these films really did succeed with the advent of VHS. Where you
Yeah,
could
home
buy,
video made so
yeah.
many movies viable.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is yet again another great render. These Zerian ships wanted to take on Rylos. I just think that's just really good. Yet again, it speaks volumes of the era. But these turtle guys, they're really scary too. At least their formations are all in line. That might be something to do with the computing power. And yet again, another beauty shot of the Gunstar.
Yep.
I mean, that just quality. That is proper quality.
And you can actually see the pilot rendered inside the, you know, because the canopy is transparent and all that.
Yeah, you can see Grigg in the back seat,
Yep,
not doing any backseat driving at all.
No.
But Alex can finally lift the door that says, you know, what we calling this, a WMD or a super
It's
weapon?
the Death Blossom.
Well, we know it's the Death Blossom, but I used a term which might be perceived as being
I
something
think
else.
this is the oh shit weapon of last resort.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the supreme weapon.
Yeah, I might have
web-
been. I wasn't really bothered. It's just somehow when you hear those two words, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way
Yeah, I
was
didn't think
raised.
anything to it, to be fair. So that's, I'm not a closet, what. So
Oh,
anyway, Death Blossom's primed and ready to go. All the foils and doors have been unloaded, ready. And yet again, that is just another great shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's in proportion. That is dead center in proportion.
Do you think it was kind of like an inspiration for the Star Furies and Babylon?
A little bit, I'd say.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
Ron Thornton had some kind of, I don't know. This was about the time he moved to the States after he'd finished working for the BBC. So maybe he got his finger in the pie somehow, or at least this is where he got his idea to go forward in that line of work. But yeah, again, I was saying how there was like real attention to detail. Look at that cross thing there on that midsection of the Gunstar. How much detail's on that? Look at where you've got all the light shining off the metal and it looks like brushed aluminium. Aluminum, just in case you get lost in translation. But it all just comes together just so nice.
And
really
again, you've got the different colored panels on the engines and on the rear of the Gunstar and all that. Yeah, this is well designed.
It is. It's bloody well done. Again, Franco corroborates what we were saying a while ago. VHS sales boosted this film.
Yeah.
And interesting point. Somebody might be able to clarify on this. Franco says, I think they only had enough memory to store 2 frames at a time, so when one was photographed, it essentially erased that image.
Yeah.
Yeah, great explosions on the bridge set. Yeah, I agree with that.
The film was taped back up.
Yeah, Manuel Grill says that bridge is somewhat Star Destroyer. They all were, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's this then? Flab says that Bill Barkley, no, it was poorly received at the box office, probably over here. It didn't do too bad. It nearly made it double its money back, which is, again, it's no metric in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean that's because of the split that you have of the theater and all that. You generally have to make like 2.5 times the budget at the box office to break even.
Yeah. They spend more on marketing, don't they, than the actual what they want to recoup back, because they shove everything into marketing. That's how desperate they are to get people's asses on seats.
Yeah, the quality level and the coping rhetoric of today has lowered the bar.
Yeah, a lot. Plus, there's a new film every 2 or 3 hours these days. It just seems that way. When I was a kid, there was like 2, maybe 3 big films all year.
Yeah.
So you'd got one sort of like what? You'd get your summer movie, you get your fall movie, and then you get your Christmas movie.
Yeah. And your Oscar bait movie. Yeah.
Yeah. MC says that detail is better than some of today's CGI. Yeah, that is quite questionable, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
You think some of the budgets in Hollywood these days.
Some of those shots really look like they were physical models, especially of the Gunstar. And
I would say they're comparable to actual practical effects.
Yeah, and the way they handled motion.
The main battleship looked a little Tron-y, but the smaller ships definitely visually looked still do look quite real. I mean, look at that. Right there.
Battle ensues here. This is Alex in the Gunstar taking on the Zerian forces. And just look at that.
That looks like a shot out of Babylon 5 right there. The one before this, the wing shot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it holds its own against anything of that era, if not better in some respects. So, I mean, the colouring and everything. It just looks good.
Yeah, I think so. The one of the things that this really benefits from is because everything was done on the computer. You don't have the kind of washed out feeling that you get from optical compositing, because the more that you layer on, you tend to lose detail and you tend to have bleed along the edges and all this. This is really, everything is crisp. Everything looks like it belongs there, and the colors really pop.
Thank God for vector graphics.
Yeah. It was called a digital film recorder, by the way. So They would, as I think Jay mentioned, they would display it on a high resolution monitor and focus that image down onto a single frame of movie film, and they would do each. I don't think they filtered out RGB, but
no, they use color gels to do color, so it was multiple exposures. But because everything is locked in place with the frame of film and the monitor, when you're doing those layers, you don't get the kind of shift and color bleed that you do with the old optical printers.
Thank you for joining us on Geek Talk tonight.
Yes.
Must thank Emperor J. Goodwin and Mr. Phobos for the inside leg measurements of the digital film rendering system. Sorry, lads. I'm
African or European?
Actually, hybridized Indian.
Oh.
But they're getting ready to fire the Death Blossom. But don't fire. You've got to. Timing's everything.
Everybody's got to get in close enough.
You can't shoot it too early because if you're spent, you can't do a proper job. Yeah. So the Gunstar starts taking a bit of fire from these bad guys. And Grig's like, wait. Anybody think I ran a multi-billion-dollar company in Detroit?
Behave yourself.
Yeah. I like that scene in RoboCop too. He's just waiting for that last ship just to get in range of the Death Blossom.
Yep.
But then, you could go for it, Alex. Yeah, I'm going to shoot my shot. And he's spinning around like an epileptic at a disco on roller skates.
Oh, yeah.
He's proper going for it. How he's not, like, passed out from the G-forces. And
that's why the seats rotate, so they're always counter-rotating, yeah.
And even Grig looks like he needs to puke.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just needs a shit. Maybe
he may have just shit, and he's wondering how he's going to clean out that cockpit later.
Maybe it was that giant cricket he had for dinner.
It could have been.
You never know. So anyway, Death Blossom's done its job, and they're kind of spent. Everything's gone. How did they not think to include a backup power supply for a ship of this nature? So anyway, Lord Krill's like really pissed at this point. He wants to ram the Gunstar. And one thing I did fail to mention, it's a prototype Gunstar. It was the only one left.
Yep, that's the only one.
It's just lucky Grig was working on the Death Blossom
otherwise
when the attack
dead.
happened. Yeah.
And this is one of the scenes where you really get a good physics shot where it bounces off the hull of the
it does
of Krill's. Yeah.
Just as they fire up the engines, and I love how the little LED lights look like some kind of Christmas tree effect.
Yeah.
That was straight out of Radio Shack's storefront window.
Yeah. There was an intern soldering that right before it went on screen.
The Weller was still hot when it hit the deck.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, Krill's going to ram the Gunstar. And then, again, that looks quite... People might say, oh, yeah, the graphics look shit. No, these were groundbreaking. This was like GTA's great-granddad.
Yeah.
And people don't take that into account with these older films. If it hadn't been for these films breaking ground, we might not have some of the great stuff we have nowadays in games and in TV and movie.
Yep, all of the software that they built up. There's a reason that only 9 years later you have Jurassic Park, and it's because they started from zero and created all of the systems that allowed you to get that level of realism.
It's funny. Every time I hear that T-Rex roar, I never think of Jurassic Park. I think of FileZilla.
I like the the way that some of the stars are streaking, but others aren't, because some that are more distant wouldn't streak, and those that are close.
If you notice, on this background picture, for example, when Centauri goes into warp speed, or whatever the fuck they call it in this, you've got Doppler shift. You've got the stars going red, then they go blue, and then it's like the level of detail to physics is great.
Yeah, they thought it through really well.
Didn't they? Yeah, like the Expanse. This is Expanse level physics.
Mm-hmm.
But just look at the quality of that render.
Or like real life physics, you could also call it.
Well, no, real life physics sucks. Take gravity, for example. That's shit.
Yeah, and I've noticed it's been turning up recently, and just get harder and harder to get off the floor. I don't know what's going on.
Especially harder and harder to get up at 5:30 when the alarm goes off.
Yeah.
Christ, I feel like I'm on another planet, and my mass has increased.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm quite impressed with that render of that scene. That looks the dog's bollocks, as we say in the UK, or the mutt's nuts, as you might say in the States, because your dog's nuts are bigger in America. Everything is bigger.
Everything.
Even the AIDS.
Yep.
Even the bill. There we go. There's the Christmas lights from Tandy or Radio Shack.
Oh yeah.
It's quite good, really. I like that. I mean, Greg looking like he knows what he's doing. And look, in space, they even have 4000 series IC logic chips. Wow.
Of course you do. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And perf board.
Oh, don't get me started. I love electronics. The amount of stuff I do behind closed doors with electronics is unreal.
Yep.
That looks gorgeous right there.
I'm soon to be building a Commodore 64 from brand spanking new.
Wow.
Oh, nice. Oh, are you following the guy that's building it all from just discrete logic and not
No. There was a big
you got one of the new
fad.
motherboards?
I got a 60 clone board, yes. I got
Right,
that for Father's Day about 2-3 years ago. Put things to one side until I got like some a new desolder gun and, you know, a new oscilloscope, all that kind of jazz. And I've slowly been saving bits up, and soon to be new launching YouTube channel, Trev's Retro Bench, coming soon.
Oh, nice.
Moving swiftly on. So they fire the engines up just in the nick of time, but they still kind of have a little bit of a fender bender, don't they, with the Krill mothership. But Alex is like, screw that, I haven't got insurance. So he's going to take one more shot. He's going to take out this ship. Because he's not going to go out quietly. If he's going, he's taking those bastards with him.
Exactly.
And yet another exquisite battle damage shot of the Krill bridge. Pardon me for belching. I tried very hard not to. So yet again, they just managed to get away in the nick of time, and that is another beauty shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't get the excellent interaction between the Krill captain and his second in command, where he's like, "What should we do? What do we do?
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that.
All right.
See, you've got to love Restream. When it screws up, it screws up. But it doesn't screw up very often.
But when it does, it does so magnificently.
Oh, yes. So these are the slides I was meaning to show you. We're falling into the moon's gravity well, which is yet again a proper piece of physics.
Yeah.
And there's Krill's stunt cock. And he's like, what are we expected to do? And he's like, die. That's the third time his monocle.
Oh, yeah.
It's third time his monocle. That is sad. I knew how many times his monocle. And it always made like a clicking noise, like it was hitting something solid on his face.
Click. Yep. We die.
So anyway, it's going to crash. That kind of reminds me of something. I'm not quite sure what it is. Kind of like a little bit like the back end of the Cygnus from the black hole.
What about when the rocket ship that goes into the moon's eye?
Well, I don't know. I got brown eye going through my head for a second.
Yeah, I mean, if your rocket ship is going in the moon's eye, then wear protection.
Yeah. So the Gunstar gets away, and that's Krill. He's not coming back. Zerb might for a sequel, but it will never happen. So anyway, Alex and Greg are the heroes of Rylos, and all of Rylos celebrate. And I noticed how they landed right in the middle of town square, if you can call it that, which seems to be on a 700-foot pedestal. And the guy from Star Trek, yeah, it's well done. But the acting goes a bit ropey towards the end of the dialogue, but for all intents and purposes, it's still quite well done. And it's got that feel-good factor. It's like got that fuck yeah element to it, which I kind of like. And it's got, oh, you might recognise this guy. Hang on a minute, I just wipe his face on. And it's Robert Preston. Oh, sorry, Centauri. Always kind of reminds me of Milton Knight.
Wait, that guy's hair is actually growing up into his eyebrow underneath his... How is that supposed to work?
Well,
it's definitely not a hair piece, I assure you.
It's a wipe-on.
It's a loop. Like both ends of the hair have a follicle under the skin. That's kind of disturbing.
Yeah, it's got hair like an 8-track. It just goes round and round.
Yeah.
So anyway, this Gunstar starts landing somewhere. Where's it landing? Oh yeah, trailer park trash. Oh no, it's not. It's just his girlfriend. I don't know. She has got quite a jaw on her, hasn't she?
Yes, she does.
She's quite manly.
Yes.
She's a lumberjack and she's okay.
She's okay. Sleeps all night and
And she works all day.
You realize that snakes also have a large jaw that enabling them to swallow everything.
Oh, look. Granny's not being a nosy bitch at all. She can't even see over the top of that RV, but she's having a good look.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that... so he's basically landed it on top of the cafeteria. That whole, like, eating area. It's like a... Yeah, anyway. So... Oh, dear. I forgot
Take me to your leader.
Yeah. Do your females give head? What?
Yeah.
Who could it be? Of course it's going to be Alex. It's like, hey, girl I've forgotten the name of. Even
Maggie.
Though I've said Maggie. Yeah, we go. Even though I said your name about 60 times during the show. Yeah, you can tell that's a reshoot. Like we're saying about the hair situation.
Yeah, it looks like somebody put their dog on his head and just said, that's good enough, let's go.
Isn't that Freeway from Heart to Heart?
Oh, no. Yes. Thank God they didn't put Max on there.
Yeah. Which ain't easy.
Yeah.
Because when they met him with Moida, that he didn't shove Natalie Wood off a bottle at all.
No.
Brainstorm, that's coming up soon on Just Great Movies.
I love that movie.
I shall book you in.
Oh, yeah.
Great film. Underrated. Doug Trumbull's.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
The effects he did on that were so great. And
He
great
invented,
philosophical questions.
Yes, true. Plus, he kind of invented the idea
Slit
for
scan.
IMAX.
Yeah. That when sadly the studio wouldn't allow him to do it.
Yeah, well, he did it in Super 70, didn't he? Or some variation of.
That was the intention was that all the effects would be in a special wide format 70 millimeter, and they didn't give him the money for it, so it was all done.
Talk about stifling innovation just to save a few bucks.
Yeah.
But the look of disbelief on this chick's face is unbelievably unbelievable.
Yes.
And look, it's Al from Die Hard.
Yeah. He was just getting some donuts for his pregnant wife.
No, he was after a Twinkie and some jalapenos.
Mm.
It's Al, isn't it?
It's not the same guy, but he definitely has the similar look. Yeah.
Fuck that! It's Al now from Die Hard. You'll get a job as a cop at the Nakatomi.
Yeah,
Plaza.
he was just taking the test to become a police officer right now.
Well, there's plenty of vacancies going because that fishy alien ugly bastard dude's been taking all the
took
cops
care
out.
of him. Yep.
But even Alex's mother's acting gets a bit dodgy. Well, where have you been? I've been up in space, bitch.
Yeah.
And then, it's monster. Look at Granny. She's got that shotgun out ready. Look.
Oh yeah.
Ben, reach for the sky, motherfucker.
I used this when I used the stagecoach back in the 1880s.
Yeah, I don't know how many Indians I took out. Ask me how I know. So it's like, I've heard a lot about you. You've got some sweet tits, have I? Oh, she's covering her chest up all of a sudden. Oh, you must be the little bastard I've heard so much about. You steal your brother's porno bags, don't you, you dirty little shit?
I'm going to need Miss July when you're done with it.
I can't. I've glued it together. You look such a young boy. And look at Al. Al can't believe this. It's like, fucking Al. Can I eat it? He looks like a Slim Jim. Can I eat him?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex's mum's acting's really wooden here. Oh, look, it's back to normal hair. Or is it a reshoot? Or do we know? Or do we care?
I don't know.
No, we don't care at this point. So he gets a bit of tongue-on-tongue action. Don't cut your... I hope Alex didn't cut his face on that chin.
Oh, my God.
She's got quite a square jaw. She looks like Stan Smith. That was a really bad Stan Smith impersonation, by the way.
It's not just the jaw. The mouth goes with it.
Well, that does generally attach to the jaw.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say nice things to it till I'd spunked it.
Yeah.
As you do.
Then you'd have that post-nut clarity and be like, oh, no, what about that?
Yeah. It's a nut job.
Mm-hmm.
Hey! Oh, my God. I did not see that in the chat. I am dropping the ball here. Smilex.
Yes, my
Hey!
boy Smilex.
This isn't B-sides, is it? No.
No.
No. Also, a lot of love in the chat for Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Love Brainstorm. Frank also says that's the first film I saw walking in. Yeah, he plays quite a complex chap. Very bright. Obviously, a few mental health issues.
Yep.
But that's Christopher Walken all over. I really wish I could do an impression of Christopher Walken. Smilex says, I adore this film. The DVD's great too. It is. It's one of those, like I said before, you either love it or you hate it. And I just wish I'd got the in fact, I might have it. I'm not sure if I've got the Blu-ray of this or not.
Oh.
I honestly, I put Blu-rays to one side and I go, rainy day. I watch that, when I'm at a loose end. Or if I'm ill and I just don't want to get out of bed. I save my Blu-rays for those days. Because media is so throwaway and you can watch stuff online and download stuff. And I don't know, there's something to be said about physical media.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the whole, like much like when we would go to the movie theaters, there was kind of an event and it was a much different context that, that you saw it in. And I think, when you're at home, you kind of want to do that with certain movies, where it's okay. I'm not just throwing this on to have it as background. I'm sitting down and watching this. And so,
you can do that with Netflix now. You can put a movie on Netflix and you just not be into it and just end up, doom scrolling or skibbidying on your phone. And but you can't tell this woman's been caged. You can't tell Granny looks like she was in Trek. Ooh, Smilex says loads of extras on the DVD. It's a big old blob of nostalgia. Haven't you got some wet ferrets to annoy?
He's got some, aren't there some leggings, ferret legging competitions you need to be in?
I don't know. Hey, it's nice to have you in the chat, Smilex. Big fan. So anyway, Maggie realizes she's going nowhere fast, and if she stays a piece of trailer park trash, she'll end up either like Alex's mom or Granny. So he's like, I'm going to take her away for some space sex.
Yeah, we're going to do some zero-G action here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and
My
being
God,
a Starfighter's wife ain't bad.
What's Bond doing? I think he's attempting re-entry, sir. 007. But yeah, they're going to be famous because they're going to chat shit about what's happened. They'll be in the National Enquirer. You watch.
Yeah, some of them will be in mental institutions because
and
nobody believes
Otis
them.
is like whispering it in Alex's mom's ear, saying, I always wanted me a white bitch.
That's right. How much you charge? I hear you're the trailer park whore here.
I hear Alex's mom likes it in the air.
All right.
True? So the Gunstar takes off. There was a shot of little shit Lewis, but I decided to delete it because even though this is a movie which, is kind of deemed as a kid's movie, I just couldn't stand the character of Lewis. I just thought he's just there for the little bastards who go to see this.
Yeah. He's definitely not as annoying as some of the little kids that they inserted in movies.
Excuse me? Be careful, choice words.
Well, a lot of Disney movies.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan and her coke addiction. That's me, I know. Yeah, it's funny how so many of those Disney kids ended up so fucked up.
Yeah, I can't imagine what had happened.
I mean, Amanda Bynes, I don't know how you pronounce that, but wrong thing there. I just clicked. Smilex says, ask Jay if that's a 1972 Volkswagen Beetle.
No, that was definitely a 64 Carmen Ghia that he was flying.
There you go. There you go. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Jay, Istophobos, you really know your onions when it comes to the factoids of moviness that even I don't know. So well done. You work well as a team.
Well, I think...
thank you.
Maybe you should try it on a channel sometime.
That's crazy talk. The
Really?
The funny thing is that I was a big special effects nerd as a kid, and was doing stop motion with Super 8 cameras and all that. It was Tron and this movie that really got me into computers because I saw that you're a kid, you had no budget, but if you could do it with a computer, then you could be able to do high level special effects for much cheaper. I never ended up really doing that. I did some video work in the 90s or whatever, but that really got me into the computer programming, and I ended up, being doing it for the next 40 years.
Well, it's a good thing you like Tron. Well, there might be a link, however tenuous it may be, to
some ephemeral link to that. Maybe.
You never know. I want to say thank you also to Wayfarer. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, also appearing.
And I'm quite impressed by the fact that Istophobos lusts after your wife's rack. Have you got some great outboard gear in it?
That is a complete mischaracterization. And
I was talking about
you were here.
19-inch rack.
Yeah, a Euro
other kind
rack.
of
I didn't realize she had a Euro rack, but okay. It's
well, she has some Euro rack gear.
I did say,
some Euro.
I did say outboard gear before you
she
jumped
just
to.
I like the 3U, the 4U, and the 9Us particularly.
True. So I want to thank all you guys for joining me. I shall just put you all back in the doghouse, albeit very temporarily, and then we can have a bit of a chat in the green room. So thank you guys. And I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat who joined in tonight. Absolutely brilliant, and I really do appreciate it. How would you like a taste of things to come? Next week, the 15th of July at 9 p.m, it's a big one. Join me in the panel as we res up on the NCOM game grid for Tron. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss out. There's a 68.71% chance you'll love this one. End of line.